said a lot already.
What is this next one?
Society.
Reform society.
Plato spent a lot of time thinking how the government and society should ideally be. He was the world's first utopian thinker. In this, he was inspired by Athens' great rival, Sparta. This was a city-sized machine for turning out great soldiers. Everything the Spartans did, how they raised their children, how their economy was organised, whom they admired, how they had sex, what they ate, was tailored to that one goal. And Sparta was hugely successful from a military point of view. But that wasn't Plato's concern. He wanted to know, how could a society get better at producing not military power, but fulfilled people?
Fulfill the people. Fulfill.
Happy.
In his book, The Republic, Plato identifies a number of changes that should be made. Athenian society was very focused on the rich, like the louche aristocrat Alcibiades, and sports...
What the louche? What? Louche aristocrat?
Oh, can you...
Athenian society was very focused on the rich, like the louche aristocrat Alcibiades, and sports celebrities like the boxer Milo of Croton. Plato wasn't impressed. It really matters who we admire, because celebrities influence our outlook, ideas and conduct, and bad heroes give...
Right. Actually, this is something that I believe. I want to stop here for a second, because I feel that this is where Japan is different from other countries that I've been to. If you look at these celebrities in the United States, and to a lesser extent in Europe, they are usually not really role models. The celebrities there, they engage in drugs and drinking, and they do all kinds of bad stuff, but it doesn't really matter, because people admire them because they're stars. Therefore, we allow them to be eccentric, to stand out, and to engage in behavior that we would never tolerate from our own children. Right? So even if rappers are very often convicted of violent crimes or possession of drugs and things like that, it doesn't really matter. They can still be stars. Elvis Presley was also a drug user. There are lots of pop stars who have difficulties with addictions. It seems to be that this does not influence the way people judge them. In Japan, it's different. In Japan, I noticed that the stars here are usually very... They live very decent lives, that lives on the outside. There are not a lot of stars who are engaged in scandals, and if they are caught in a scandal, they're usually immediately thrown out.
America is not?
No. No. So I believe that in Japan, actually also stars, the people we idolize, should be role models. If not, they lose their star status.
America is not?
America is not. Not at all. They are far from role models.
They treat it as normal person.
No, actually, they can engage. Celebrities are allowed to live lives that we do not allow from anybody else. We allow celebrities to be heavy drug users and alcoholics, and we say, oh, yeah, it's. But
Why
she's
what is different? What happened? Kind of differences.
I think
Morality?
Basically, we don't put any moral judgment on it. But we allow them to engage in eccentric behavior because they are so talented. They are so special.
Like a prime minister.
And also,
okay,
actually,
there one example. I'm writing book is always talking about Japanese prime minister. They had love affairs and he cannot sustain his position. But he's just same French president doing the same thing. He doesn't know anything at all. He doesn't know any problem, right?
Well, actually, basically, I think it would be may even be more popular, because a lot of people in France recognize that he's the president, but he's not perfect. That makes him human. Therefore, he's more likable.
It's moral. A moral definition is different.
So basically, what we see there is that the president is actually also just a human being, and therefore we can more.
Yeah, one famous woman TV model or actor had some love affairs with some men actor, and they had a lot of big problems, criticize her. But I saw that why criticize her? It's normal. Whatever she wants, she can do it.
Right.
Right? But in Japan, nobody allowed her to do that.
Right. So, but that's only in Japan. But I don't know if it's only in Japan.
Why?
But it's different
why?
from Western society.
Why? Confucianism?
Maybe.
Moral?
Morale, yeah. I think basically in Western society, and this is just like in business, leaders are basically carried by their followers in Japan.
What do you mean?
Basically, you become a leader, and as a leader, you've been put in that position through ancienity, through experience, because you have the right experience. You have been around for a long time. You know a lot about the company. You become their leader. You're being chosen from the midst of the people around you, and because they give you that position, you can take it. But as a leader, you don't become a leader just from the outside. Now, in Western society,
You mean talking about bottom to up?
yes, basically it's bottom up. So you're being pushed from the bottom, and then generally you become a leader. But the leader is doesn't necessarily, in the Western eyes, have leadership skills. Basically, this is just somebody who a leader in Japan. Usually, what he does is he looks left, he looks right, and if both sides are nodding, he says okay.
Okay, this is Japanese special culture.
Right.
I told you, Takahashi always saying that his thinking is very advanced thinking approach compared with among other Japanese companies. And he want to sell to Vietnam government something what he wanted to do, but many cases he cannot do that because he need to coordinate with the other large Japanese companies or his government thinking,
Right.
and he cannot do it by own his company. If he try to do that, he will going to be isolated by among the other Japanese companies, the government. So he should follow on the common sense or Japanese business association people. I think this is stupid, but we should follow on those thinking. That this is what you wanted to say, right? Okay,
So,
that's
but yeah.
Like American company never do that. Right, whatever they want, okay, we're going to sell
They take
their
the
own
lead.
business. Or take
Yeah,
lead.
exactly. They take the lead.
Japanese company cannot do that.
Leaders are in the United States. Leaders are not necessarily older people. They are people who have exceptional skills, who know how to inspire, and thereby they become leaders because they get the followers, but they
Okay, I
lead
understand. By the
on
way,
merit.
going back that one, what this sentence mean? Heroes give glamour to flow of character. What does it mean?
A bad hero gives glamour to a flaw of character. So if a hero exhibits bad behavior, like being a drunk, like a famous movie star.
Glamour, what does it mean?
Glamour is idealize it. Gives glamour. It becomes cool to become a drug addict, for example.
So
because it's a hero.
This what this mean? Bad heroes. give
Bad
glamour.
heroes give glamour to flaws of character. So if for example, a famous soccer player like Maradona is using cocaine a lot, then basically he gives a bad example to kids because they feel that if Maradona can use coke, then coke is cool because Maradona is cool. And then they also start to build up a desire to use cocaine, just as an example.
So what does it mean? Flow of character.
A bad character gives flaw of character. Bad heroes give glamour to flaws of character. So a bad hero sets a bad example, makes it cool, makes bad things look cool. not glamour, but glamour. Yeah, glamour. Yeah.
This one, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the glitter and the glamour of the showbiz is a
Glamour
common
to
expression.
flaws of character. Plato therefore wanted to give Athens new celebrities, replacing the current crop with ideally wise and good people he called guardians, models for everyone's good development. These people would be distinguished by their record of public service, their modesty and simple habits, their dislike of the limelight, and their wide and deep
This model people.
Yes, that's a
experience.
good example.
They would be the most honoured and admired people in society. He also wanted